Nikola Jokic has proven to be one of the best players we have ever seen over the last 6 years, with the statistics and the accolades that suggest he's having one of the greatest offensive peaks we have ever seen, and this season has been no different. It hasn't been talked about as much, with Embiid having one of the best scoring seasons ever, Luka having his best season yet, and the rise of guys like SGA and Haliburton, but make no mistake, Jokic is still the best player in the world. I want to talk about just how absurd what he's doing is. But quickly before we go any further, if you're new and like basketball, I'd really appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I'm notified whenever I release a video. I'm making videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Anyways, let's talk about Nikola Jokic. This season, Nikola Jokic is averaging 26.3 points per game, 12.1 rebounds per game, and 9 assists per game on 58.3, 35.8, 81.5 splits, and a 65.72 shooting percentage. At its current pace, he will be the second player in NBA history to average at least 26 points per game, 12 rebounds per game, and 9 assists per game in a single season, the other being Oscar Robertson. Now, what makes this even more absurd is that since 2021, his first MVP season, he's averaging 26.1 points per game, 12.2 rebounds per game, and 8.7 assists per game, which is also a stat line that only himself and Oscar Robertson have accomplished in individual seasons, let alone accomplishing it over the course of a player's prime. In fact, if we look at each of Jokic's seasons individually since 2021 from a statistical standpoint, the only two other players who have had seasons that are equal to or better statistically than any of the four Jokic has had are Oscar Robertson and Russell Westbrook. That's how statistically dominant Jokic has been. But for as great as the numbers are, and they are truly great, the numbers are a product of the tape, and what Jokic puts out on tape is truly special. As a scorer, he's one of the best in the NBA. It's not as flashy as some others, but it is very effective. And honestly, the main reason I never have agreed with this idea that Jokic is quote-unquote unathletic is because of what he shows on tape as a scorer. Sure, he isn't the quick, twitchy, freakish athlete that Giannis is. He doesn't have the guard-like movement skills that Wembanyama, Chet, or Paulo do, but he's not unathletic by any stretch of the imagination, because athleticism is about more than how quick you are or how high you jump. Jokic displays incredible brute strength, combined with great balance, body control, and footwork as an athlete. And on top of that, he has incredible touch on his shots and instinctive counters, and you get a player that's very hard to stop as a scorer. More proof that if you have the physicality, or at least the ability to handle physicality, combined with the skill and feel, you can reach high-level outcomes as a scorer, no matter how athletic the league around you is. He's a complete mismatch as a scorer. Defenses can't handle his strength and physicality. They also can't handle his skill and feel for the game. It doesn't get as much attention as the other all-time great skill in this game, because the other all-time great skill in this game is more rare for his position. While you look at the ability to score the basketball, and a lot of all-time great centers are known for being elite scorers. But make no mistake, Jokic is one of the best to ever do it as a scorer for his position, and has a legit case for being the best offensive talent we have ever seen, in large part because of his scoring as well. When you combine what the numbers show in both a base standpoint and an efficiency standpoint, as well as what you see on tape, it's hard to not put him toward the top of the best scorers at his position that we have ever seen. And of course, we have to talk about his playmaking. Making a Jokic video where you don't talk about playmaking is like making a Steph Curry video and not talking about his three-point shooting, because there's a legitimate argument that Jokic is the best playmaker ever. He's already by far the best playmaking big ever, that's not up for debate, and it's really only between himself and Magic Johnson for best playmaker ever in my opinion. And I slightly lean towards Jokic because his scoring ability opens up the advantages he can create for others in an elite way because of how great of a scorer he is. He draws more help defense, and he knows how to capitalize on it. He's one of the smartest basketball players ever. His vision is off the charts. His creativity is matched only by a handful in the modern NBA as well as ever. He has the height to see over defenses. He reads opposing defenses like a book. He understands what type of pass to make in every situation. He's accurate on every type of pass, no matter if it's a simple read or an advanced one. He checks every primary playmaking box off 10 times over. Vision, feel, creativity, advanced reads, and efficiency. I don't really think it's a debate about who the best playmaker in the NBA is right now, because the only argument against Jokic right now is potentially the best playmaker ever, and I really think he wins that argument as well. Jokic is going to get the steal here, and he's going to push the basketball up the court. Now here's what I want you to notice. All three Bulls defenders that are ahead of this play are focused on Jokic. They're either looking at him or looking at Aaron Gordon, who they assume he's going to try to make the pass to, which makes sense because Aaron Gordon is one of the best rim runners in the NBA. But let's rewind to the very start of this play. Watch how Dalen Terry has understandably a very brief moment of frustration over the turnover. Now notice how Peyton Watson gets behind Terry during his brief moment of frustration, and the moment that Terry focuses again, which is very quick, he is focused on Jokic and not Watson. Jokic saw this from the start, and he used that moment that Peyton Watson got behind Terry, on top of the fact that all three Bulls defenders ahead the play, including Terry, are focused on him and probably think he's going to make the pass to Aaron Gordon to throw a very subtle but very effective bounce pass between two defenders for Peyton Watson to get a really nice finish. So you all know that Jokic is a special player because he's an elite scorer and an all-time great playmaker. But I believe he's truly the most unstoppable offensive player in the NBA today, as well as one of the most unstoppable we have ever seen. And that's because he understands better than anyone else just how feared of a player he is the moment he touches the basketball, which he takes advantage of by manipulating defenses with subtlety. And I think his ability to manipulate defenses in a subtle way is what separates him from any other player in NBA history. There isn't a player that I've watched that understands how to manipulate a defense with body language the way Jokic does. I've never seen a player be able to hide some of the most complex processing behind a mask of subtlety like this. He's not going to rush. He's not going to let defenses know his next move. He plays on the unpredictability. He knows how to sell the idea of him not thinking about something, then doing it when the defense lets their guard down. It's one thing to manipulate a defense, it's another to completely play mind games with them the way Jokic does. And it takes a special scoring and playmaking talent to even get close to attempting to do what Jokic does in this regard, let alone do it like it's second nature the way Jokic does. I believe Nikola Jokic is still comfortably the best basketball player in the world, and I acknowledge and appreciate the incredible seasons we are seeing now from other players, but here's the simple reason why I still have Jokic as the best in the NBA, and I don't really think twice about it. Nikola Jokic creates an advantage the moment he touches the basketball on every play. He's either going to score or find an open teammate for an assist, and there's no way you can truly stop it. If you leave him 1v1, he's going to score more than likely because he's too big, too strong, and too skilled. If you bring help, he's going to find the open teammate. And in both regards, he's highly productive and efficient despite taking as many risks as he does. The moment he touches the basketball, he completely sifts a defense. And yes, all great playmakers sift a defense. What separates Jokic, though, is that there's really no stopping him, like you can with other elite playmakers. For as great as they are, there's still flaws they have in their game that can be exploited to an extent. But with Jokic, it's not like you can get physical with him when he tries to score, because he's more physical than most NBA players, and we've seen even the best defensive players like Bam Adebayo, Rudy Gobert, and Jaren Jackson Jr. not be able to stop him. And it's not like he's averaging 3 to 4 turnovers per game, so it's very clear in the numbers and on tape that bringing help defense doesn't move him, it doesn't fluster him, and he's still in control when you bring that help defense. He brings all the things an elite advantage creator does without any of the flaws that most elite advantage creators have. His only criticism is that he doesn't take that many 3-pointers, and even then it's not like he's a bad 3-point shooter or even really matters. The Nuggets are reigning NBA champions and are the favorites to potentially repeat. So it can't be that big of a deal if the success is that high. You can disagree on this if you want. There are other great players in the NBA today who have cases for the best in the world, but right now, it's hard to argue against the 2-time MVP, maybe 3 times soon, and reigning Finals MVP that literally can't be stopped from creating advantages whenever he touches the basketball. And that to me is why he's the best player in the world. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, notified whenever I release a video. I'm making videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the 2 best ways you can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let me know what you think about Nikola Jokic. Do you think he's going to win MVP this year, assuming Embiid doesn't reach the qualifying mark for games played? Do you think he's the best player in the world? Do you disagree on the idea that he could be MVP or the best player in the world? Not that those things are mutually exclusive. And if you do disagree, who do you think is the best player in the world, as well as who do you think is the MVP this season? I'd love to hear all of that down in the comments section below. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.